I will start using that term now.
Business-wise, it is creating some form of stability. I mean,
Yeah.
in relationships as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You will have to trademark that. So, I wanted to speak to you today about the prison planet theory.
Okay, so this is kind of a more philosophical thing. So let's put you to.
It's philosophical, but it also goes into healing
Mm,
because from my perspective, there's a basket of emotions that would lead someone to believe in
mm,
this theory,
mm,
also corresponding with a basket of emotions that they would avoid by believing in this theory.
mm,
And to me, even though they will say that they're not polarized or a non-duality, it's creating that polarization that will keep them stuck.
mm. Yeah, yeah. To begin with, I heard two kind of neutral statements where I would say there's no side involved with interests.
Okay.
One is that it is in the spiritual quality of our planetary consciousness to be a strong magnet, that when it has absorbed an individual soul, it's binding it. So it's a choice that is holding at least for a full cycle. Not sure what happens after the cycle. Maybe you have options to get out, but when you, let's say, just land an alien ship from some
Nibiru?
nebula out there and you
Yeah.
think you could leave, you're doomed
Yeah.
because the spirit is not capable of escaping the soul magnetism of this planet. Um, this is kind of one narrative that I got, and the other narrative is that uh, um, the planet is used as a prison planet. That people are sent here that misbehaved somewhere else just to make sure they don't come back.
So if it is a
Yeah.
prison planet, then we've earned our spot here.
Um, yeah. The third narrative that makes a bit more sense to me because it's touching the sense of everything is that we agreed to be terraformed in a way that we find a inspirational solution to the AI satanic problem. That Gaia has been fragmented into 12 parts, and cycle by cycle, only a share of Gaia leads to the role in the incarnation, and the other shares are somehow depleted and not fully active, and that kind of as a fractal mirror of the big thing in the smaller realms, humans incarnate as fragments of their higher self. Yeah? This is kind of as above, so below, same structure of fragmentation that you have in the planetary realm. By traumatization, you find, and also the topics we deal with, going into the cycles of black magic abuse to be traumatized and broken down to even smaller fragments like a single soul that gets split into 10 um, parts in a ritual programming. This is all kind of fractal mirrors of Gaia's fragmentation. And this was necessary because Gaia, as a healthy, strong planet, would deal with that AI satanic infection just like nothing, you know? Oh, it's tough to digest. Let's take it in. Oh, it's sorted, healthy again. Like that. But
Yeah.
it doesn't serve as a blueprint for the healing of the weaker planets that struggle with that type of challenge. So they had to weaken Gaia, but still leave her X cycles to deal with the problem, to finally come out with a solution that serves as a blueprint. And this is now kind of the outcome of our last cycle that is ending right now, that humanity has created that blueprint. And now everything is different. Everything is kind of solved, and the solutions we needed are there on the table. And now all the questions asked are different. It's not like, do we find a solution? It's like, okay, we found the solution, but what will we do with all the humans that still are stuck in the loops and could not be part of this solution, just kind of part of the iceberg that is still underwater while someone up there says, oh, we've got it, we're out of water. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, either we wait for the iceberg to melt. Um, do you say iceberg in English? No.
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yes.
Because berg is a German word.
Yeah. Yeah, we say
Ice,
iceberg. But
iceberg.
so
Major
what
iceberg. This is why I got it from the Fifth Element.
there you go. So that iceberg, are we waiting
Yeah.
for it to melt?
Yes and no. Someone is heating up flames underneath to get it
Oh.
molten quicker.
Mhm.
So we see all sorts of helpful steps to help on the individual plane to awaken souls to be able to take the steps out of scarcity back into abundant uh, approaches to life, love-based abundant approaches to come into unity consciousness again, to dissolve all the fragmenting that has been happening. And it goes, of course, it goes quicker if the fragmentation is healed on the large scale. The smaller scales have a completely different drive to defragment as well. So healing processes just run with ease now.
That's what I'm noticing. Not for everyone, but the majority, the ones that are getting it, it's just very quick. But what happens to the iceberg?
And hopefully it turns back into water.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Do you
Mm.
feel it has already ended or will be ending? Because I'm feeling like there's certain things that are occurring in my life that are more conscious choices of a different quality than the unconscious patterns that I was running in the past.
I feel two different questions. One is the cycle did end, yes. When it ended, we didn't do it yet.
Yeah.
So we are running kind of small fractal prolongations of the big cycle.
Yes.
Normally, it would have had the cut at 2012. There was a certain quality that normally marks the end of the cycle. And then they kind of duplicated the last 24 years or something, and another, or 12 years, and then
12
another
years. Yeah.
share of 30 years. And this is because it's a duplicate of a cycle. It's like a tiny loop that you hang on the end. Everything feels so unreal since 2012.
Was it an accelerated 12-year cycle or a condensed 12-year cycle?
No, I think it's a repetition.
Repetition. Okay.
It's a repetition of the years before. Possibly a mirrored repetition. Not sure. Not. I didn't really look into the fine qualities of it. But
Okay.
what you really easily get is that living since then much more feels like dreaming than living.
Yes.
This is a quality everyone who has kind of self-reflecting can confirm.
I would agree. What advice, so the people that I'm seeing, they don't necessarily believe that we're on a prison planet and hop on a ship. They're cut off from the possibility of going onto a ship. They've cut off from their higher self. I don't resonate with the chakra removal, but that is a big thing that is occurring where people are having their chakras removed by others or removing them themselves. What is
I,
behind?
I never liked the idea of removing chakras because
No,
it is the one tool for expression.
right,
And why should I kind of uh, deprive myself from the ability to properly express myself?
right, right.
Yeah. It is correct. Chakras have been mostly abused for manipulation by inverting the energy flow or extracting things with the right direction of flow, but not according to your choice, but according to the demands of those who were sucking you empty. And then I can understand that someone says, oh, I would like to kind of get rid of the holes I'm losing energy through.
Yes,
But if you completely control your own bioenergetics and if you interact on a voluntary base, and if you give, you just have the energy flowing through from the source fields through your body to the one you serve. You're not losing anything, you're gaining from every move. So why should I close that beautiful system? It
Carol, can I
makes
just back up a little bit? When you said scarcity consciousness, so if you have scarcity consciousness, will that cause a ripple effect on your spiritual development as well? Because if you're in scarcity consciousness, you don't have the faith or the belief that you're what you need to save yourself is out there.
in a way it's like a reverse gear. It's like one of the many examples of how the satanic concept is inverting things.
Okay.
Normally life should go like, oh, there's enough for everyone. There's no need for me to hold on to something because I know that tomorrow there's also going to be enough.
Yes.
So why should I waste energy in possessing things I don't need just in case I could need them tomorrow? And then when nobody is grabbing the things he does not need, as a effect, everything is free to take. Yeah? So you have a self-strengthening loop in psychology. Yeah? Because you think you have enough, you do not hold on to things, and therefore things are free, and therefore people can take things, and everything is available tomorrow as well. Self-strengthening loop in psychology, leading to a society without ownership and without money. The moment you turn that around energetically, you think, oh, I might not have enough tomorrow, so I'd better kind of grab everything I can hold on to with my two hands. And then everything available is immediately taken by someone. And if someone needs something and he doesn't have it, he doesn't possess it, he needs to die.
I'm
Yeah.
smiling because I fell into that trap when COVID hit. About all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's important to find the looping in those things
yeah.
because it's self-strengthening, recursive, self-organizational, fractal development of energetic flows, consciousness, everything, society. And the trick is to understand that this is a choice. The automatism is just internally.
Yes.
You make the choice what concept you want to trust. And the miracle in the universe is if you make the right choice, the universe is serving that choice. If you let go, if you share everything that you do not need at that moment and you just give it away without putting too much attention whether you get something back for it or not, just because someone that is in gratitude needs it and takes it. Yeah. Then
Is that
you get triple the amount back.
I know.
You
I
remember that little
yeah,
episode
exactly.
with your bank account, you know?
Well, I no, it actually happened several times with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't triple.
It
It
was
was
sixfold
it was
because it was the
sixfold.
two of
It
you
was
giving.
yeah, it was the two of us.
Yeah.
It was sixfold. And I to be honest, I didn't believe you before. I was
Yeah.
like, he's full of shit. And then it happened so quickly and I was like, oh. So how do you apply that to energy work? Like when we're giving our energy and there's no like reciprocation, are we being in scarcity consciousness or is it have we done enough if it like are
Mm.
we just do we continue to give freely?
Yeah. One step back.
Okay.
You were lucky that you didn't believe me.
Why is that?
Because if you would have believed me, possibly it wouldn't have worked.
Oh, because then there might have greed.
Because then you do it out of greed because you want your cash to threefold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you act out of scarcity, and the universe can just reply with scarcity.
I'm
So
tempted to say the amount, Harold, but
it's okay for my end.
is it okay?
Yeah, I correctly declared it as a gift
Okay.
because it
Because
was,
because if I say the amount, I think it will hit harder than if it was $5 or
yeah,
two
I'm
dollars.
okay with it.
Okay. So it was $2,000 and we got no, it was $1,000 and we got 6,000 back within a day or like days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by appearing and on the bank account, if I remember correctly,
Yes.
without a sender,
Yes.
appearing out of nowhere with the bank unable to transfer it back to somewhere because it didn't
Yes.
come from somewhere.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, and that happened, and I wanted to say the amount because it wasn't like $1, and I
Mm,
got because that's more dismissible. Like, oh, you found $5 in your coat pocket. This was very significant.
mm.
So,
Yeah, it's not limited to amounts. It works with
no,
any given amount. But
yeah,
don't take it, it's you need to be careful because once you kind of and you go like, wow, this works and I rely on it, you might be tempted to go
yeah.
into a overdrive mode with it. But at some point, getting that delivered, because it doesn't mean anything to have it, you get what you need for a good life. And then if you get more, if more ends on your shoulders,
Yeah.
it immediately becomes a burden.
Well, to
Because
me, I'm gonna crack a joke. When I
mm,
met you and I made you my Lord and Savior, you know I didn't.
mm,
But the value of what you taught me was far greater than $1,000.
mm, thank you.
And so that's what I'm like talking to you about is how do you do that with energy work? Because I can't quantify the value that what I do has in someone else's life. Only they can.
Mm. Um, what I had to learn, which was a hard lesson to take, that it's the wrong approach to focus on the amounts because the amounts actually do not matter. What it is, what is important to focus on is the quality of the interaction. Yeah? If someone is honest and says, I would like to pay you, but if I pay you, I don't have anything healthy to eat at the end of the month. Can I wait for a month or can we skip that payment thing for this time? And if you say yes, you can feel relief and gratitude. Um, you can count on the universe to replace that loss. by something that comes in without notice, just from somewhere. If you have people that see that you are in abundance and think, oh, this is an easy victim to abuse, and they milk you like a cow, and they don't have real gratitude for what they get. Instead, they kind of have fantasies of demanding more, and then they think you're a bastard if you don't pay. All that sort of shit, it happens. And if the interaction goes into that direction, what happens with you as the one who shares is that you do lose your joy in serving. It becomes like toxicated in a way. And
Hmm.
when you lose the joy, the universe is losing the joy in supplying you as well.
So,
It's one-on-one kind of law
yes.
of resonance. So it's very important to closely monitor and watch the spiritual quality of the interaction. If something gets fishy, it's better to become clumsy again and cut it short and say, let's have a look at what we're doing here because it is not good. And if you delay that because it's inconvenient to fight with people, suddenly abundance breaks away and universe stops supplying you to give you the hand to get out of those toxic relationships, which is in a way okay. Learn your lesson first, then I'm coming back with abundance.
Okay, so then it could manifest if you're overgiving to someone that does not have gratitude, true gratitude, that you'll start to experience losses
Yeah,
in other areas of your life, because that
yeah,
did happen to me.
yeah,
And so then I cut everyone off and
yeah,
regrouped. Okay.
yeah, yeah. This is exactly how you can do it. And then it's reliable again.
Yes, I noticed that shift. What would you, if someone is just starting off on this journey, where would you tell them to start? What are the key points that they need to focus on? There's a lot of external information that's coming in, whether it's chemtrails, contrails, black goo, but none of those actually help you develop as a soul, as a person. How can people shift into that personal responsibility and get to know themselves and not be so attached to the external narratives?
I would make a difference between service to self people and service to other peoples.
Okay.
Most of the ones who come to our pool of interactions, I guess, are service to other people. And
Okay.
there, the best first step actually is to love yourself and fulfill your needs and wishes in a healthy way to get that one balanced. Because we're all used to drain ourselves for the sake of others. And this is kind of the core portion of scarcity we are sitting on. It's not that we cannot give, but we cannot believe that we deserve to get something every other day. So when we don't give that to ourselves, like good food, satisfying accommodation, um, why should someone else do so if we don't think that we are worth it? So this is kind of the very first step. And then this next step is look for your gifts. And if you do have a gift, this is exactly the right point to start and stay with. Because with a gift, you have the joy of giving automatically comes in. If you're a brilliant thinker, yeah, then share your thoughts. People will appreciate it because it's not because you you can solve a problem, it's because they want to co-enjoy your joy of thinking things through. And the
Harold,
spark that comes. And if you're a craftsman, make
mhm.
beautiful things for the ones you love.
The ASD brain is funny. Not everyone loves it. You know that.
Yeah.
The things that I think about are not common. I mean, same as you. And those kind of people are rare and hard to find. For me,
Yeah,
anyway.
but there are enough people to
Yes.
appreciate the fruits of being uh, a bit extraordinary in thinking capacities. I mean,
Yes.
a lot of people get jealous and rather would try to make fun of you because there's something they can't grab, but who cares?
That's not a big deal. One of my clients had a question for you,
Hmm?
and you briefly touched on this in an interview with Sasha Stone. They asked about the genetic component of some of these spiritual abilities. Are certain races, certain genetics uh, gifted more of these abilities to perceive, or is that just a belief?
Hmm. Thin ice. uh, I mean, we can start with some traditional knowledge, like if you look into the internal kind of history mythology of Freemasonry, you find that legend of having a German tribe that was guided to settle on Iceland, and then they had relations to other people on other islands around Iceland that were actually all alien. And they kept abducting the German women, implanting all sorts of genetic concepts into them so that you have the blue-eyed, the green-eyed, the brown-eyed, and the Illuminati with the rainbow-colored eyes that shift and change every now and then. And I kind of gave some attention to the theory because my eyes keep shifting on daily basis according to mood and whatever time of the day. Um, and there you have the association with blue-eyed for the mental part, the green-eyed for the cultural expressive part, the brown-eyed for the agricultural part, and the Illuminati as leadership. This is why they derive that myth from this story to make themselves as the Illuminati, to be the ones who have the right to bully around everyone else. So this is kind of, but it's like just a hint to that we do have different genetics that come with different qualities. But it's not that one or the other is better. It's more that everyone has his skills. So maybe you can find a first idea what skill you carry by the color of your eyes. I don't know, maybe not. It's mixed. Another thing, and this is again thin ice, is the core idea of racism, that it's a really, really, really stupid idea to mix. Because, and this is something I cannot explain, I can just feel it. If you stay within your tribe, the the ease in which you connect to the uh, family tree, to your ancestors, is giving you access to very deep and old knowledge and to very old and settled abilities that might be limited in scope. If you're an Eskimo, basically what you can do is hunt and eat fish. And there might be not much more to it, but this, in this, you're excellent. Yeah? You will never miss the fish with your spear.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. You're
And
right.
you will enjoy the hunting in a depth and in a spiritual way no one else will be able to even imagine, because you have that root in your ancestry. When you mix, um, you have kind of the immediate outcome. If you look at the first three generations, the first generation just settling somewhere else, like they did analysis of I think Greek communities in Sydney and Italian communities in the early days of New York. That the first generation, they do not adopt the foreign language. They stay in groups among their own culture and don't adopt any part of the local culture.
Yeah,
The second generation is completely broken with shitloads of psychological problems. Marsha
yeah,
is good. It's good, Kleine. Shitloads of problems, suicide rates that skyrocket, drug abuse, sexual disorientation, all sorts of really painful things. Marsha is good. Um, and the third generation is highly creative and highly intelligent. I cannot say if they're happy, but the productivity of the exceptional situation is kicking in. And afterwards, kind of, you get the mix. And if you look at how the elites, Marsha, es ist gut. Die bellen, geh mal rüber bellen. Geh mal zu Mama bellen. Geh mal bei Mama bellen. Geh mal bei Henry und Mama bellen. Ja, lauf. Ja, lauf. Na, ich komme nicht mit. Lauf. She wants to bark in my room.
yeah.
Can't help it.
We have one of those too.
No, she got it. If you look at the policies in the United States and in Europe to import as many as possible Black people from Africa and Arabic people from North Africa and Mid East and Europe, to make them mix with the Northern Europeans to create something as a mixed race that resembles the Egyptian culture. This is projected by the elites to create a race that is not very conscious and easy to manipulate.
Is that what's occurring right now?
This is what it's in the it's in the papers. If you look, if you read their scientific papers, so this is what they plan
Okay.
for exactly that reason. And they're doing the same with North America by getting the invaders from Mexico and the Central American countries into the
They're
north
they're coming from India and Pakistan too.
as well.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, it has two purposes. One is mixing the races to make them less deep conscious in whatever. And the other thing is they import shitloads of trauma from war-torn countries to be able to ignite civil war in peaceful areas. Because in a peaceful area, you will not be able to ignite civil war. People simply will not do it. So you need to import a certain amount of trauma, collective field, to have that violence igniting. You can see it beautifully how they did it in Syria. Syria absorbed 3 million refugees from Iraq. Before, it was like a country where the Christians, when they had not enough time to go to the church, they would pray in a mosque And the Muslims, if the church was on the way, they would go and pray in the church instead. And they all loved each other and were good with each other. You had zero violence, 100% tolerance for every minority in a country ruled by a family that came from the smallest minority available. Yeah? That was a paradise. If you want to destroy a paradise, import victims from a war-torn country, which they did in Iraq, destroying Iraq and then sending all the refugees into Syria, and they were, sad to say, stupid enough to take them in. Now they look alike.
So what are you saying, that we should genetically stay with our own race in order to have those ancestral roots? Like, for example, India and Ireland are quite closely related genetically. How do you make room for those kind of variables? Because I'm
No,
not.
I would never derive a directive out of it. Just
Okay.
something I observe. That is observed in a scientific manner, and other people make their politics accordingly. I would never tell someone, you're not advised to
Yeah,
mate with someone from Africa or from Sri Lanka or whatever, because wherever love falls, love falls. So
yeah.
this is kind of the first fractal. It's much more important than, um, but um, you can know what to expect when you do certain things. If you think you could immediately root on a different continent, experience shows no, you're not. Yeah, you're going to be lost there and live in a bubble of the culture you came from, and your kids will be broken. If you want to have broken kids, do it. It's okay. Yeah, knowing what comes from what is okay. And then you need to make your own decisions, because sometimes staying means that you and your kids are simply dead. So there's no alternative. Why should I give advice?
Well, the other thing is that there are some really great things in an ancestry, but there can be some really not so great things. Would you not want to disconnect from some of those aspects, or they just become kind of neutral and part of your
They get more difficult to access because you cannot disconnect from them. Everything that is not solved will sooner or later pop up. But if you have a mass of mixtures in you, in your ancestry, it's not getting easier to solve something
Okay.
because the excess is blurry. Mm.
So in my case, my dad immigrated to Canada when he was 16, and they assimilated into the Canadian culture, and then I was the first kind of generation to be born in
Mm.
Canada.
So you're the broken generation.
I am the very broken because they didn't completely let go of their Punjabi heritage, but they didn't 100% assimilate.
Mm.
So one of the first personalities I remember creating was this was my Western Canadian white person
Mm.
identity. And then when we came home, this is my Punjabi, my Indian, my heritage.
Mm.
And there was never any kind of
Yeah,
congruency. Like it wasn't seamless.
yeah,
We had to be fragmented to fit into the different aspects of one society
yeah,
versus another.
yeah. Yeah, but you managed to do it and you managed to reassemble yourself. So
Getting
it
there.
was a challenge. This is why I don't want
Yeah.
to judge or give advice, because
Yeah.
things are not good or bad. Things are a challenge.
Yes.
And when you're still working on it, you might pity yourself. When you did it, you're rather proud of yourself. So it doesn't make sense to give any intermediate commentary on those things.
Yeah.
Life is life.
It's enjoyable now, Harold.
Yeah. And you gained. I mean, I was broken in a way as well. I was removed from Germany to Israel, age 10. I didn't speak a single word of that language. We lived for 3/4 of a year downtown Haifa.
Yeah.
like Bronx in a way. Children squeezing frogs with Coke buckets, like duk, 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 duk,
Yep.
to see how flat they can get, and that was kind of the daily enjoyment on the streets. The only thing I
What
truthful.
motivated you?
Hmm?
What motivated your parents to go from Germany to Israel?
Long story.
Okay.
Long
Another.
story. Um, like Jewish roots, only a few of them, um, but still there, and frustration with the German working schedules and working philosophy. Everything was actually following money. Honest science was not uh, what anyone wanted to see. You know, if you write a paper, a scientific paper, the content has to be what the one who pays for it wants to see. Corrupted science from A to Z. And my father had the illusion that if he goes to a less developed country, that his work would be of some value. Big mistake. Didn't work. And it was kind of a 4-year episode. I know what it means like to be in lost in a foreign environment. And on one hand, it completely destroyed me back then, fragmented me, destroyed me. On the other hand, I sit on experience no German has if he stayed all the time in this stupid mess here. So I'm not complaining.
Oh, complain. Yeah, the biggest challenges have brought the biggest gifts. So why complain?
Yeah, yeah.
Why complain?
You
I'd
can
like,
complain if something is completely breaking you for the rest of one lifetime. Uh, then you might have a reason to complain, but then you probably have to realize that you ruined someone else's life in another lifetime and that it's karmic. So even then, there's nothing to complain about.
no. So what's going on in the big picture in the collective with the bifurcation of the timelines?
The last things that we got confirmation on was that from the original concept of having 5 different densities to develop into 5 uh, different timelines, the really low vibrant ones were completely dissolved. Um, and they don't exist anymore, then it all came together again for a while, so it was unclear what was going to happen. Then it started to divert again into different densities, feelable. And then some extraordinary, beautiful things happened. And then it was kind of one bunch again, in a way. And then the spiritual realm kind of didn't really know what we deserve and what is the best for us. I heard kind of higher beings loudly thinking about killing us all. Not for punishment, just to give us an easy start in a new cycle without all this bullshit we created for ourselves. An act of mercy. And but it was not perceived that nicely on the lower realms.
Is that why some people are feeling the impulse to commit suicide, or is that another?
No, no, no. This is a personal thing. And
Okay.
then it was like, okay, then we need to divert it again into 2 timelines where one timeline is going into complete biorobot mode, down the hill into satanic realities, and the other one is making it. And It was kind of in a way, the old concept of the vaccinated ones killing all the non-vaccinated on one timeline, and the non-vaccinated surviving the bullshit, and all the vaccinated one dying in the other
Yeah.
timeline,
Yeah.
to divert them from each other. That was kind of part of the original plan. And it was like saying yes to that again would have meant, you know, in my timeline, sentencing my kids to death, and in the other one, accepting them to kill me. And it was like, if you ask me personally, I said, no, I demand a third solution. For myself, I demand this is not acceptable. Me as a human with creative powers, I am not giving in to that solution. And I insist there must be a different one. And then it was like, okay, there would be another solution. But it is the path of love. It is extremely painful. Nobody up there wanted us to go through that pain of healing to a degree that we can make it as one humanity into higher densities. And I, for myself, I just said, yes, but this is what I demand. I want that. And if it takes me to be in that pool of suffering, I'm not afraid of pain. If this is what it takes, that I am part of that process, and that I have to be with humanity while suffering. And what they projected was some form of non-linear chaos where every single human is tortured to the point where he has a tiny little window where he can grab that concept of abundance and shift himself out of these low vibrant energies. And this is happening by making it more and more and more and more painful. So that would mean disease, low level warfare through all the countries, slow self destruction of the old uh, cultures that are not capable of developing, and all sorts of other inconvenient things people rather not like to see in their lives. But it is the only way to wake all of us up. And if someone is
So,
really refusing, then the normal laws of universe can take him out. This is what's happening all the time in any case, that someone who stops developing agrees to die and is taken out by the universe.
so is the part of the suffering you're referring to is you with your children, like either they kill you or you kill them. So with our family members or our loved ones that have taken the vaccine,
Yeah.
watching them suffer right now, is that the pain that you're talking about? Like
For
feeling,
example, yeah, yeah. Two of my boys are vaccinated. One of them rather has no immunity anymore. He's kind of afraid to let me in because I might bring in some disease. Completely hypochondriac, possibly for a reason I don't know.
well, I don't know for your son specifically, but a lot of people's immune systems are completely breaking down.
I mean, he saw his cats dying. Maybe this is what brought him into panic mode.
Yeah. So how do we help heal that?
Just help and heal yourself. Everyone goes down his path. It's, I mean, if someone comes up and says, "Oh, I realize that those shots don't really improve my living quality. Is there anything you can do?" Yes, there are ways to get rid of like proteins, even the ones stored in the cell, all possible to get them out. We have the informational medicine solutions, we've got the biochemical solutions, you can combine them. Um, so there's no death sentence that is spoken for eternity. If you want to get out, you can get out, but you need to do something for it, like always.
Well, it's an excellent segue into letting your American audience know that radionics will be available in the United States. I'm going to overshoot it and say 2 months, possibly sooner.
Yeah, and the biochemical products are available already.
Correct. Correct. And I will link them to Sirisana on the bottom so that they can get all the information, and then link the website where they can acquire the
Mm.
radionics.
The biochemical one, I'm not sure if it's Molekusan or still Medicinals that is traded in the US.
I will ask Lamar. He's the one that's handling all of that. I'm staying out of it as much as possible. Um, what about the theory, Harold, going back to the racism? Because I have heard the theory that it was either Enki or allele that created us into different races to keep us separated.
Not into that part of our history. Can't
Okay.
judge.
Okay.
I know that this is kind of for real, that it's not like a stupid mythology just picked up from books.
Yeah.
I know people that have grandparents that lived all the years since then in one body. So I'm kind of aware of Anunnaki bloodlines.
How old are they?
3,500.
Is it possible to meet them?
No, no.
Okay.
Not very. I mean, that was a young lady descending from that line. She was kind of okay. She just threatened to kill me twice. Uh,
Do you bring that out in women?
I guess only if I marry them.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else
Um,
that you would like to touch on, Harold?
mm, do
Would you
you
like
have?
to? Do I have?
Yeah.
People would rather listen to you than me.
But you still can bring up a topic.
I could bring up a lot of topics. What else am I? So I just want to make sure that this is clear to the audience. So scarcity consciousness isn't just affecting your material abundance, it's also impacting your spiritual abundance.
Yeah.
What would you suggest to someone that's working on that issue of abundance, where they're in a country where they're not able to make a lot of money?
I mean, the thing, putting it into two layers is actually a very good idea, because the thing that is underlying the physical abundance is the way how you handle your energies.
Okay.
If you give from your heart, if you utilize your skills and give from your heart out of love for the thing you do and out of love for the people you serve, not automatically, but very likely, the flow of energy will go through your crown chakra into your physical aspect of your existence, and from the inner heart chakra, from the gifts you bring with you, the unconditional love, which is the second flow of supplies of energy you have in your system. And if you then manage to be grounded and have an open base chakra to receive the love from our planetary system, you're just a channel and it flows through you. And this is the spiritual abundance, where you can give as much as you want, and you only profit from it because the more you transit, the more stays with you. And the physical abundance, monetarily way of living, in a way, is just a mirror of that. So might even be more effective to focus on the energetic part first, to really look, is my crown chakra in the right position and open, so that I can receive divine love from above. And prana, I mean, this is what comes from there. And it's my spark in me. Or did it already escape because I'm so weird that this divine spark can't stay in that place without feeling too dirtied and disgusted. You
Explain. Can you explain that further?
when you train yourself to see bioenergetics, if you have rather healthy people, you say, "Can you feel the spark in your heart?" And they say, "Yes, yes." Never realized, but there's a shiny, dancing little shiny spot. And then you say, "Okay, can you throw a thread of golden light out of that to re-energize whatever the soul lost to be retrieved?" And they immediately know what to do, and there is a spark in their heart, and it functions. Just needs the decision to bring it into the active mode and do something with it. And sometimes you work with people and there's nothing. Can you see your spark? No. And then you go like, okay, where's your fucking spark?
So is the spark absent, or do they not have the ability to see it?
No,
Because
many people lost it on the way.
is there a way to retrieve it?
Yes, yes.
What would be the process for them to retrieve it?
Sometimes it's just lost and you find it somewhere hovering in open space, far enough
Yeah.
from the body to not be in pain with that existence. And then you need to change your life to make it comfortable for the spark to resettle in your chest. And that can be just a nasty job that needs a lot of discipline and awareness to learn to recognize if it's in or if it's out. And if it's out, to check, what do I do wrong? And
So
sometimes it's coming from previous lifetimes or childhood abuse, that it was more like one traumatic event, like ritual programming in a previous lifetime. Oops, spark is gone. Spark is captured by Satan. Then you need to go into contract negotiation to get your spark back again. And then once you have it back, it easily integrates because it's not you that is keeping it out. It was kind of the contract. This
okay.
is karmic work. This is checking previous lifetimes and changing things that went wrong earlier. Um, you've got those and you've got those, and you've got people who are completely healthy. So there's no generalized advice on how to activate your spark.
So I heard you say in another video, and someone asked it if we have NPCs. And you said that from your perspective, we don't have NPCs, but what we do have is a large number of the population that is disconnected from their souls. Would that be accurate still?
Mm, not complicated enough to say yes or no. What we do have a lot is people who, through COVID or vaccines or shedding, have been dissociated from their body, which means that the incarnating aspect is out. This is exactly one quality of dissociation. You've got the seven chakra system that comes with the human body, and then you have the 13 chakra system that comes with the half tone chakras. And this thing is, it can move around. If you travel astrally, this is what travels. And if you have spike in your system and it methylates BRCA1, it cuts the connectivity to the human body, and then this part of our beingness, the incarnating aspect, is chucked out. And then it's easy to turn us into a biorobot because you just have the internal reasoning of a biological machine, yeah, or of an animal, or whatever you want to call the rest that is still there when the incarnating soul is not there. And this is something that hangs like a balloon on a thread, like 5 meters over your head. And it's easy to recall. In the early time of COVID, this was completely extracted and brought somewhere else. If you lost it kind of in the first month, possibly there's nothing to retrieve anymore. Or maybe even this is back. I had no opportunity to check, but in the very early time, I had people who were trained enough to realize that their soul is gone, and the thing that was left behind was desperate about it. And there was nothing we could do. And now it's like, since there is a healed version of Satan in this realm, a day afterwards, we got reports by several people that some funny, colorful balloons hang over the heads of people. Most of them, like, that was clear. Okay, yeah, this is what I would have expected after the step that was taken on that weekend. And then you can try the affirmations. I demethylate my gene BRCA1, and I methylate my gene 53BP1, and then it's shifting back, pulling the incarnating aspect in. If you have too much spike protein in your body and it keeps methylating that epigenetics switch, you need to get the spike out first. Then it's a hopeless case to pull you in, because the spikes will always chuck you out again, which is a good idea in any case, because on long term, this is like Alzheimer's condition. If all the cells are completely stuffed with spike protein, not a good idea. If you have that genetically in you from the vaccination, your genes are producing spike 24/7.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so get them
Ha-
out. Get
Harold,
the
what's the
genetics out.
difference like between someone that's lost their incarnating spirit due to the COVID vaccine? Because I was very broken, very fragmented, probably running on 99% personality, automated behaviors, and that happened prior to the COVID vaccine. So,
Yeah, very easy to describe. The brokenness you can achieve by lifetimes
okay.
is a very useful program that is changing your whereabouts to enable you to survive under toxic conditions and give you the best possible starting positions to reassemble yourself. It's like when you try to understand the clinical conditions as a spectrum, you could say narcissism, borderline, sociopathy, and psychopathy is one spectrum that you can describe as a progressive loss of control over emotion, and in step two, ability to feel emotion. If you go down the entire line to the sociopath, or to the psychopath. He's only busy with the mental attempt to control, to not feel his fear. As long as he's in control, the fear is encapsulated. Only if he's starting to lose control, the very first emotion that is accessible, which is fear, will pop up. And the only thing he can do for self-healing is to welcome the fear instead of running away from it by controlling everything. This is the only choice he can make. But this is exactly the choice that immediately leads into self-healing. And then once he is willing to get the fear into his emotional perception, he will also realize what he is afraid of. And this is kind of a, what do you call those? It's like a landslide of all sorts of emotions, just burying. And this is something, if you have been always over the edge, that life was so toxic, so painful, that it was always more that you could take or express or handle. Everything is pushed away and it mounts to that mountain of unfelt and unexpressed emotions. And once you touch it, you have that landslide completely burying you. And for that problem, there's another condition that is absolutely useful. It's called borderline.
So narcissism comes first.
I'm starting from the highest condition, going down in the order of dismounting them. So
Right, but
narcissist is the lowest and comes last now when we go from the worst one to the easier ones. So if I come from the psychopath to the borderliner, you've got the borderline archetype that enters as an archetype into your emotional system. Within the mental field, he's not inside of the body, he's standing behind your back, and he's introducing all sorts of programs
the Hat Man.
to suppress the feelings that are about to overwhelm you, but at the same time to give you like valves of emotional relief that are not under your control. The borderliner is getting a fit, he's getting a fit. He will scream out of anger and hurt someone. There's nothing he can do about it. It's a valve run
That's what
by
I
the
heard.
archetype.
Right. The borderliners hate bomb,
Yeah.
and narcissists will love bomb first,
Mm.
but borderlines will
Hates.
hate bomb. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, good term.
Yep.
Um, and the good thing about it is he can separate the different layers of emotions, and he can give the human the opportunity to work on exactly one emotional topic. Then you don't have that landslide effect, but you can really look at one feeling, see the story where it came from, restage something to bring to your mind where it originally comes from, heal that topic, and then the borderline archetype can remove one of the programs and allow you to take responsibility for the feeling again. And then he will work on the next topic, and there's a order in which he can dissolve all the topics. And if he does not hold any program anymore and all the emotions are kind of tangible and flowing in the body, only then you will see the narcissist or the people pleaser beneath. Because he's there all the time, but he's not ruling the show.
Right.
Yeah? This is all done by the borderliner from the mental field. And then the next archetype that is sitting inside the body will teach you how to handle your lower emotions, especially the real fear, not the mental fear, but the real fear and your real anger. Yeah? Not the fit that is run from the mental field, but the real anger inside your body. And then you have another archetype that is teaching you to take responsibility for your fear and your anger. And this is all in perfect shape and condition. Nature found beautiful solutions for really nasty problems, and there's nothing wrong about it. Whatever condition you have, it's the best possible way to deal with things. And if you learn your lesson, you can step by step release the extraordinary programs that run the show for you before until you can take responsibility for everything yourself again. Then there's no need for them and they volunteer to leave. The archetypes and the associated programs just go. It's not your enemy, it's your friend. One day you don't need that friend anymore. And this is all within the beauty of nature. When you have a bioweapon that is just hitting a switch and sucking your entire incarnating aspect out of your body, on the individual plane, it doesn't make sense. On the collective plane, it was agreed to go down that path for humanity because they needed something to divert self-responsible from other responsible people. And all self-responsible people realized that the vaccine is a bioweapon, and the other responsible people thought that the state is going to beautifully take care of them to have them not getting sick.
So
Yeah.
agreed in the sense that they were looking for a savior rather than doing their own work, rather than taking responsibility.
I mean, we're so proud of being intelligent, but I don't see that intelligence applied anywhere, except when it's about inventing new weaponry. Then we're very inventive and clever. But for taking responsibility for your life, intelligence is mostly not applied.
Right.
Because it's very easy to see the truth and to understand what's happening. It's not difficult. And then you kind of hit that wall, realizing the other people around you do not come to the same conclusions. Then you go like, what's going to happen? My neighbor will say I'm a weirdo. I wear hats and I'm one of these conspiracy theorists. But it cannot be that Bill Gates is trying to kill us all. I mean, he said so, but that would be genocide, and genocide on that scale, that was Hitler. It's not us. You know,
My
I
favorite
have
is
no clue what's
is
happening in those heads, or
yeah.
you just have a simple rush of cognitive dissonance, and
My
then
fa- my favorite one, Harold, is if this was a bioweapon, they would get all of these people to agree to like keep it quiet. That's unbelievable, and they did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a joke in Germany, there can't be concentration camps, during World War II because if there would have been any, Hitler would have known about it and he would have done something about it.
I'm trying to stay to subjects where I can post this video, so just be we'll just
Yeah.
but yeah, but what is the point? So how is greed applied to their decision to take the vaccine?
And it's not greed. It's the fear to be excluded from social interaction.
That was the prime directive.
Yeah, in Germany. I don't know in other countries, but that
Okay.
was the primary reason for people that they only feel secure if they swim in the public opinion. And the
Okay.
moments it demands from them, their own thinking would demand from them to exit the public opinion, they will face cognitive dissonance immediately. I mean, no clue what's happening in the United States. We get 24/7 pictures and video material and reports that every major city in the US is under surveillance of anti-gravity machines. So they suddenly don't call UFOs anymore. drones, because this sounds a bit more human.
Hmm.
But anti-gravity is actually not officially our technologies, and the way they look like, it very much looks like alien technology. Yeah, and we still obey the man in black. No,
There's,
aliens do
yeah.
not exist because this is not the public opinion. So, do you trust your eyes or don't you? People regularly don't trust their eyes, and they don't trust their thinking, and they don't trust anything if it is contrary to the public opinion.
Well, in this last week, we've had fog in certain areas of the United States, and a lot of people are scraping the windshield or their cars and finding like white powder.
Mm,
And there's a smell of sulfur, and they're having symptomatics like burning eyes, respiratory
mm,
issues. Um,
mm. Okay,
I mean,
so they're
I mean,
trying to
no,
get fog in between the aliens and us.
yeah, yeah, correct. But I'm not experiencing any of it. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
I do hear of the insanity that's going on,
Mm.
supposedly, like, rumors of war. Um, but people, like, I don't know if you saw this, Elon has started to censor people on X now. And
Yeah, because he bought the platform to stop censorship.
well, he stopped censorship after the election.
Yeah.
But for me, and maybe this is naive, I don't give a shit who won the election. I don't
Yeah,
care
of
what they're
course.
showing on the news. That does not feel like my reality.
Mm,
Like it feels like very distant, even though I know it's occurring, but we're not experiencing very much of it.
mm,
That could shift, I don't know, but I feel like they're trying to create a certain narrative through the news, through the 24/7 kind of ticker on the bottom.
mm.
And then they're talking about the new bird flu virus and the vaccines and but
Yeah,
people are falling for it
yeah.
still.
There
So
was a beautiful one on Renze, one of
on
the last days, where someone made a video and he recorded all the news portals in the United States.
yeah,
And everyone was giving exactly the same
yes,
wording on how
yes,
dangerous the conspiracy theorists are, that
yeah,
they endanger democracy. And it was word by word. And the compilation, how they kind of have them in
yes,
chorus, and then every single one after one and another,
yes.
warning that the democracy